So Naveen, let's talk about some of the feedback I've been receiving from our clients and prospects. One of the things that a lot of our prospects and clients are telling us is they've been using a lot of the data analytical solutions for targeting and prospecting, and some of the feedback they're hearing from their sales and marketing people, and more like frustration. And you and I can probably relate to it. But a lot of it is coming from situations where a salesperson contacts a client or prospect, and the offer just isn't relevant for the client. Or in many cases, the client or the prospect has shut down the business, moved to a new location. We don't have the right details on the client, and all the other data issues that we should face. So while from an analytical standpoint, the teams are very happy with the quality of output from the analytical exercises, but the feedback from marketing and sales is very different than what we would expect. Tell me what your experience is in handling such situations in the past.
Bobby, I've been talking to different client organizations. It's a very important issue. Sales team are targeting customers with certain offers which are not relevant to them, both in B2B as well as in B2C space. And I see, while I think analytical models or targeting criteria is all perfect, I don't see any issues in that. The fundamental problem lies in the data. And again, data could have multiple issues, and it's all about garbage in, garbage out. If your data is not complete, it has quality issues, then obviously what you're going to find out about the customer as a targeting criteria is going to be wrong.
Correct.
The first and the most fundamental problem is that the front end process fails, or when the data is being captured in the customer journey, customer interactions, it's not being captured properly. Of course, there is a human element, and sometimes you want to sell the product so quickly, you just skip those data points which you need to capture about the customer, or as such there is a failure in process somewhere. And the second issue is that when the data flows through the backend systems for analytical work, you find that there is some breakage in those data pipelines. That is an issue. And then of course, if analytics teams are using those data sources, those data points, then it has a lot of issues.
Yeah, I can relate. A lot of times I've applied for credit cards or home loan or other loan products, and the salesperson, in the effort to just speed up the process and not lose a sale, says, fill out the basic information, I'll fill out the rest. And being an analytical person myself, I know that that's going to cause data issues down the road. Yes, I can completely relate to it. What other issues do you feel happen that cause data quality issues in a large organization?
So, as I said, process failure is definitely one. Number two, the whole data engineering exercise, data management exercise is sometimes it fails at certain points. Either their data architecture is not good, even if they have data from their different applications or source systems, it's not flowing in properly into central databases. So that's where most of the issues, and there are typically data engineering or data management offices in the organizations.
Right.
They are responsible for supplying clean data to the analytical teams so that they can drive their insights based on that data.
Yeah.
So those teams are always under constant pressure. I have spoken to so many data architects and data engineering organization heads. They're always trying to find issues with the data, where the data pipeline failed, also trying to rectify the data, stitch the data together. So it's a constant struggle.
And I can relate to that because I remember one of my first jobs was working for data integrity solutions in a large company, and our primary focus was when data moves from one platform to another, how do we make sure that the same data that's coming from one source gets replicated into the other?
Right.
You would assume that's a pretty normal thing, but we saw several basic errors and omissions happening in the integration process, so I can completely relate. I also hear about agentic AI solutions being used for data management, data governance. Do you have specific examples that we could take back to our clients and prospects, how this can help them?
Sure, absolutely. So Agentic AI definitely offers a promise when it comes to data management and governance. One, all that manual work of going through multiple tables, understanding the data lineage, how's my a particular feature or a variable is being calculated by two different tables, and how is that flowing out to two other tables. So all of that can be done very nicely by AI agents. That is one example. In terms of data discovery, data quality, a lot of times clients are paranoid about leaking in personally identifiable information, PI information, on some of those data tables when it is being used for data analysis. So you can easily identify those PI issues. You can identify data quality issues, like there is an issue with the fill rates in a particular table, particular field. Data flow is not happening completely. Partial data is flowing from source to the destination table. So all of those issues can be very well handled by AI agents. So there could be an integrated agentic AI workflow which basically helps you in the complete process of data management and governance, right from data discovery to observability, data quality, data mapping, then policy validation and policy extraction. So data policies a lot of times are not implemented properly on these data management activities. So all of that can be done by agentic AI, which is being done manually in a it's a very tedious process.
It is. And a lot of companies now have chief data officer, chief analytics officer, or sometimes those roles are combined into chief data and analytics officers. So if you were to speak to the chief data officer, chief analytics officers, or the combined titles, what would you tell them that they should focus on?
So I think from a chief data officer, again, chief data and chief analytics officer sometimes is one individual, but I would say under a chief analytics officer, there could be two different functions. It has to be different. So my advice to them would be, if I talk in context of agentic AI, look at some proof of concepts. I mean, still people are getting used to agentic AI kind of work. For instance, let me give you an example. We are working with a bank. So they have come up with a problem of data mapping, where they need to map app tables with some central data tables. So they have used agentic AI for two business products. And agentic AI has been successfully able to map that with more than 80% accuracy. And eventually it will go 90 plus accuracy.
Wow.
And it's going to really streamline their process. It's not just about the automation. Agentic AI is helping in redefining and redesigning the whole data management process.
So how is that different from somebody using a ChatGPT or a Gemini or Perplexity on their desktop versus an agentic AI-based solution?
And that's what organizations think. If they're using ChatGPT or Gemini 3, they're using AI. So, which is like completely a misplaced kind of notion. Because, okay, you can ask simple things. Okay, I'll feed in 2 tables, 3 tables, and it'll give me some outputs, which are going to be accurate outputs. But if you're looking at thousands of tables, complex issues, and there's a total web of interconnections amongst those tables, then like humans, there is always a team of people who are trying to untangle those data connections, trying to find out data lineage, data observability. So that can be used by agents, AI agents, instead of humans. And again, I still believe that there has to be a human in the loop as well. It has to be, if something AI agent is not giving correctly, then you just give that input, this is how you need to do it.
So one advantage I see of agentic AI solution is clearly the scalability aspect. And the second is the decision ability.
Correct.
Even though you keep the human in the loop, but you're getting to a decision point from just being able to analyze data using a ChatGPT or a Gemini or something like that.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. The other things that people are struggling with is a lot of companies have grown through acquisitions. They've added products without really thinking ahead about creating a single customer view, single client view, or what they call customer 360 view. Do you feel agentic AI solutions can help create and maintain a customer 360 view?
Absolutely. I mean, customer 360 is the starting point for any customer decisioning exercise, or if you need to build customer-centric models. And customer 360 again is, what is it? You pull out information from different sources, you roll up the data at a customer level, create a golden record or a single source of truth. So all of that can be done very nicely by agentic AI, by implementing agentic AI. Pull out information from different sources, put it at one place. And to me, it's a very important use case. In fact, you can then apply agentic AI beyond customer 360 to analyze customer behaviors, to build cross-sell models,
the entire
campaign,
marketing,
the whole customer lifecycle management. Yeah.
Great.
Exactly.
I think that's a great point where we can end our conversation. So I think takeaway is we need to start looking at agentic AI for data management, data governance in a more structured, organized manner.
Correct.
And create the segue into the next logical step of using that improved data quality into our marketing and sales processes to close the loop and drive the revenue outcomes that we think we can.
In fact, we at Transorg, we have built a platform called Transorg IQ, and we have kept data management and governance as a separate capability as well.
Mm-hmm.
While if somebody wants to use our agentic AI for customer lifecycle management, data management and governance is part of it. But we are working with some organizations, we are just targeting on data lineage, data observability, data discovery, on those specific independent use cases of agentic AI.
Perfect.
And it's like working really well. It's a very good use case.
I love the outcome. I think creating a productionized, scalable solution that allows you to do this across different scenarios is the right thing to do.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Bobby.